The rain poured heavily as I drove down the deserted road, the windshield wipers struggling to keep up. Suddenly, a blur of fur darted in front of my car, forcing me to slam the brakes. My heart pounded as I stepped out, only to find a soaking wet German shepherd standing by my door, her golden eyes filled with desperation. The mother dog nudged the puppy toward me, then looked up as if pleading for help. My throat tightened. This wasn't just a random act. She had chosen me to save her baby. Without thinking, I wrapped the puppy in my jacket and carried it to the car. The German shepherd hesitated, then jumped in after me. As I drove home, the mother dog kept licking her pup, her body tense with worry. I glanced at them through the rearview mirror, wondering how they ended up on the streets. Were they abandoned? Did she lose her owner? The questions swirled in my mind, but one thing was clear. They needed me. At home, I dried them off and laid out blankets. The puppy curled into its mother, who watched me with cautious gratitude. That night, as I sat beside them, the mother dog rested her head on my lap. A silent thank you. I knew then that this was more than a rescue. It was the beginning of something extraordinary. The next morning, I examined the puppy, a little female with the same striking eyes as her mother. The German shepherd, now relaxed, never left her side. I decided to call the mother Luna, strong yet gentle, like the moon guiding lost souls. The puppy, tiny but full of spirit, became Stella, a little star born from darkness. Luna watched as I fed Stella, her tail giving a slow wag. It was the first time I saw her relax, but as days passed, I noticed something strange. Luna would often stare out the window, ears perked, as if listening for something, or someone. One evening, while walking them, Luna suddenly froze, her fur bristling. A man across the street was watching us intently. Before I could react, Luna let out a low growl, stepping protectively in front of Stella and me. The man quickly turned away, but Luna's reaction left me uneasy. That night, I searched online for missing German shepherds in the area. My breath caught when I saw a post. Reward for Luna. Stolen K9 police dog. Last seen with her pup. My heart raced. Luna wasn't just a stray. She was a hero who had escaped danger to protect her baby. 2 days later, I woke to the sound of breaking glass. Luna was barking furiously, standing guard at the bedroom door. Shadows moved in the hallway. Someone had broken in. My hands shook as I grabbed my phone, but before I could dial, Luna lunged forward with a snarl. A scream echoed as she tackled an intruder. In the chaos, I scooped up Stella and ran to the bathroom, locking the door. The sounds of struggle outside were terrifying, but then silence. Police sirens wailed in the distance. When I finally opened the door, Luna stood there, panting but unharmed. The intruder was gone. The police arrived quickly. When they saw Luna, their eyes widened in recognition. "That's her! The K9 that went missing!" one officer exclaimed. Luna wagged her tail weakly, exhaustion setting in. The officers explained that Luna had been stolen by a criminal group who trained dogs for illegal fights. She had escaped, but not before giving birth to Stella. The intruder was likely one of the thieves, tracking her down. My stomach churned at the thought of what Luna had endured. But despite everything, she had protected me, just as I had protected her. The officers gently explained that Luna was still a police dog and needed to return to duty. My heart shattered. Stella, however, had no official records. She could stay with me. As they prepared to take Luna, she nuzzled Stella one last time, then licked my hand. Tears welled in my eyes as I watched her go. But the lead officer paused. "You saved her and her pup. If you're willing, we'd like you to visit Luna at the K9 unit. She clearly trusts you." Hope flickered in my chest. Maybe this wasn't goodbye forever. Weeks passed, and Stella grew stronger, her playful energy filling the house. Every weekend, I visited Luna at the police station. The moment she saw me, her tail wagged wildly. She'd gently sniff Stella, as if reassuring herself that her baby was safe. One day, the chief pulled me aside. "Luna's retiring soon. She's earned a peaceful life. Would you consider adopting her too?" My breath caught. Without hesitation, I said yes. The day Luna came home for good was the happiest of my life. Stella bounded around her, yipping in joy. Luna, though older and wiser, playfully nudged her before settling beside me. As I stroked her fur, I realized this wasn't just a rescue story. It was a story of unbreakable love, courage, and second chances. And it was only the beginning. Luna's return home wasn't just a reunion. It was a rebirth. The first few nights, she would wake up panting, her body tense from nightmares of her past. I'd sit beside her, stroking her fur until her breathing steadied. Stella, sensing her mother's distress, would curl up against her, a tiny but fierce protector. Slowly, Luna began to relax. The haunted look in her eyes faded, replaced by warmth. She started playing, tentatively at first, then with growing joy. Watching her chase Stella around the backyard, her tail wagging freely, was like witnessing a soul learning to trust again. Winter arrived, blanketing the world in white. Stella, who had never seen snow before, bounded through it with pure delight, her paws kicking up powdery flurries. Luna watched from the porch, her gaze soft. Then, as if remembering something, she trotted into the snow and nudged Stella toward me. I knelt, and before I knew it, both dogs were playfully tackling me into the snow. Laughing, I wrapped my arms around them, their cold noses pressing against my cheeks. In that moment, surrounded by their love, I realized they weren't just pets. They were family. One evening, a knock echoed at the door. A man in a police uniform stood there, his eyes widening when he saw Luna. "Sergeant Daniels," he introduced himself. "I was Luna's first handler." Luna's ears perked, her tail wagging hesitantly. Daniels crouched, offering his hand. Luna sniffed it, then licked his fingers, a silent forgiveness. "I never stopped looking for her," he murmured. As he shared stories of Luna's bravery, my respect for her deepened. She had saved lives before, and now she had saved mine. As Stella grew, her energy became boundless. Daniels, visiting more often, suggested training her as a K9. "She's got her mother's instincts," he said. So we began. Simple commands at first. Stella was stubborn, but Luna would step in, demonstrating with effortless grace. One afternoon, Stella finally got it. She sat perfectly, her eyes locked on mine, waiting for her treat. Luna nudged her proudly, and my heart swelled. This little ball of chaos was going to be a hero, just like her mom. A violent storm hit one night, the wind howling like a wounded animal. The power went out, plunging us into darkness. Luna paced anxiously while Stella whined, pressing against my legs. Then, a crash from outside. A tree branch had shattered the kitchen window. Luna bolted toward the sound, her protective instincts kicking in. I followed, only to find her standing guard, growling at the broken glass. She refused to let Stella or me near it until the danger was cleared. That night, I realized, Luna wasn't just protecting us from intruders. She was shielding us from the world itself. On Stella's first birthday, I threw a small party. Daniels came, along with a few officers who had worked with Luna. We had dog-friendly cake, which Stella devoured messily, and toys scattered everywhere. But the best moment? Watching Luna unwrap a present for Stella. A stuffed toy she carefully pulled from its wrapping and dropped at her pup's feet. The officers laughed, but I saw the tears in Daniel's eyes. "I never thought I'd see her like this," he admitted. "Happy." Daniels called one day, urgency in his voice. "We have a lead on the men who took Luna. They're trafficking animals again. We could use her help. And Stella's." My stomach twisted. The thought of them in danger was unbearable, but Luna, hearing his voice, sat at attention, her eyes sharp. She was ready. Stella, sensing the tension, mimicked her mother's stance. I took a deep breath. If they were willing to fight, I had to be too. The operation was set at an abandoned warehouse. Luna and Stella would track, while officers moved in. Daniels handed me a vest. "You're part of this now," he said. I nodded, my hands steady for the first time. As we approached, Luna's body was taut with focus. Stella, though young, matched her stride. Then, a faint whimper from inside. More dogs. Luna's ears flicked, and without hesitation, she moved forward. This wasn't just a mission. It was personal. Chaos erupted as we entered. Men shouted, dogs barked. Luna darted through the fray, heading straight for a locked crate. With a powerful leap, she smashed the latch open. Inside was a terrified hound, its ribs visible. Stella, following her mother's lead, nosed another crate open. One by one, the dogs were freed. The traffickers, overwhelmed, were arrested. But the real victory? The moment Luna licked the freed hound's face as if saying, "You're safe now." News of the bust spread. Luna and Stella were hailed as heroes. At the police station, officers clapped as we walked in. The chief handed me a certificate, an honorary K-9 badge for Stella. Luna, though, received something even better, her official retirement papers. "She's earned her rest," the chief said. Luna, as if understanding, leaned against my leg. Her fighting days were over. Now she could just be a mother, a companion, a beloved friend. After the excitement, life settled into a peaceful rhythm. Mornings were spent with Stella's training, afternoons with lazy naps in the sun. Luna, though slower now, never left Stella's side. One evening, as I sat on the porch, Luna rested her head on my lap. Stella curled up at my feet. The sunset painted the sky in gold, and in that quiet, perfect moment, I understood. This was the reward. Not medals or praise, but this. Their trust, their love. Luna grew older, her muzzle graying. One day she collapsed in the yard. The vet's words were grim. "Her heart is weak." I knelt beside her, my vision blurring. Stella whined, licking Luna's face desperately. But Luna, ever the fighter, licked back. She wasn't done yet. That night, I made a promise to cherish every second we had left. Stella, now fully trained, began her official K-9 duties. Her first successful track, a missing child, made headlines. Watching her work, I saw Luna in every step. At home, Luna would listen as I recounted Stella's adventures, her tail thumping weakly. She was proud. She had passed the torch. Luna's last day was peaceful. We took our usual path through the woods, Stella leading the way. Luna walked slowly, savoring every scent, every breeze. At the top of the hill, she paused, looking out over the valley. Then, she leaned against me one last time, her breathing steady. When she closed her eyes, it was with the quiet dignity of a life well lived. Grief hit like a tidal wave. Stella refused to eat, searching the house for her mother. I clung to her, both of us lost. But then, one morning, Stella brought me Luna's favorite toy. She dropped it in my lap and licked my tears away. Luna was gone, but her love remained, in Stella, in me, in every life she'd touched. Years passed. Stella, now a seasoned K9, trained a pup of her own, a spirited little shepherd named Nova. Watching them, I saw history repeat itself, and sometimes in the quiet I'd swear I felt Luna's presence, a rustle of leaves, a warm breeze. Her legacy wasn't just in the dogs she'd saved, but in the love that continued to grow. The police department unveiled a statue in Luna's honor. Stella sat beside me, her head high. As the cloth fell, revealing Luna's likeness, a collective breath was held. Then, from the crowd, a child's voice. "Look!" "It's the hero dog." Stella wagged her tail. Luna would have loved that. Nova's first mission was a success. As the crowd cheered, Stella nuzzled her, just as Luna had once done for her. The cycle continued. Love, courage, sacrifice. That night I dreamed of Luna. She was running through a sunlit field, young and strong again. She turned, meeting my gaze, and I knew. She was at peace. Cleaning the attic, I found an old letter from Daniels. "Luna chose you, for a reason," it read. "Some bonds transcend duty. They're written in the stars." I folded it carefully, tucking it into Stella's collar. She licked my hand as if to say, "I know." Now as I sit on the porch with Stella and Nova, the sunset paints the sky just as it had years ago. The love Luna gave us still burns bright, a flame that will never fade. And when the wind rustles the trees, I smile. Somewhere, a brave German shepherd is still watching over us. Forever our guardian, forever our hero.